Welcome to another Just Traveling Through video. I'm Celeste.
And I'm Terry.
And today we're going to talk to you about some of the best places in the United States to travel just for the food.
This is really a question of what do you remember most about a destination? And in many cases, we found that the food had just as much impact as the places that we visited and explored.
First up is the city of Austin. Austin is where barbecue and music come together. Now, Austin has a long tradition of slow-smoked meats influenced by German settlers who brought their sausage-making and smoking techniques in the 19th century. Terry used to travel to Austin for work quite frequently.
Yeah, I had a contract there, so I spent a lot of time there, and I would consistently come back home and tell Celeste, wow, the food there is just amazing.
And you saw a lot of music there and ate a lot of barbecue, right?
Yeah, there's a street in downtown Austin, 6th Street, and there's just music joint after music joint, and there's every genre of music in the world going on there. No matter what you like, you'll be able to find it.
Now, our favorite restaurant to go to in Austin is called the Salt Lick.
The Salt Lick restaurant, located in Driftwood, Texas, just outside Austin, has been serving up oak smoked brisket and ribs since 1967.
It's very much a family environment. You can sit at the picnic tables outside.
Very laid back.
Yeah, going in the spring is wonderful when it's not so hot outside.
The food and the smells are amazing.
Next up is New England. Known for its history, scenic beauty, and most famous rock bands like Aerosmith, Boston, and the Cars, along with its unique food. The food in New England is a direct reflection of the immigrants and settlers who shaped the region over the centuries. Perhaps the first was the English and Puritan influence, and from that you get your baked beans, brown bread, apple ciders, and dairy farming.
During the 19th century, waves of Irish and Scottish immigrants arrived, bringing corned beef and cabbage, boiled dinners, and oat-based foods.
The Italians settled in Boston's North End and other cities, and they infused New England with pizza and pasta, seafood-based Italian dishes, and cannolis and espresso. Also a large Portuguese community, especially in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. In fact, my grandparents immigrated from Portugal to Massachusetts, and they bring food like linguiça and chorizos, Portuguese sweetbread, and Portuguese-style seafood stews, similar to Cioppino.
New England is famous for its seafood, and some of the most popular dishes are clams, lobster, and cod.
The clams are called soft-shell clams, and they're also known as steamers. They're characterized by their long edible necks and tender bodies. So these are different than what you're going to find in other parts of the country. And the neck actually can sometimes have a skin you have to pull off before you eat them. So if you're not used to them, they can take a little getting used to. Regina's Pizza in the North End of Boston was established in 1926. This family-run spot is famous for its thin crust brick oven pizza. Now, when I was a kid, I lived in Massachusetts, and my parents would drive from where we lived into Boston just to have the pizza, and they would rave about it. My parents raved about it for years and years and years. Regina's Pizza is a staple in Boston.
Our next recommendation is the Limoncello restaurant, also in the North End, and a place that my sister and her husband took us to. And we had the most incredibly pasta, seafood, and an owner who came around and made sure that we felt like family. It was a great meal.
Terry, do New Englanders like their ice cream?
Oh my God, do they ever? The New England area has the highest per capita ice cream consumption in the entire United States.
Yeah, small dairy farms have been making homemade ice cream for generations. People all have their favorite ice cream place, and it's a very popular thing to do in the summer is to go out on a Friday night or a Saturday night and go out with the family and get ice cream. Kimball's Ice Cream is located in Westford, Massachusetts.
The first time we went to Kimball's, we saw people getting 1.5, maybe 2-pound banana splits.
When we first went, it was just this little roadside stand, and then it grew and grew over the years, and now it's pretty much like an amusement park. Other things you'll find in New England you won't find other places are the roadside shacks, where they sell lobsters, lobster rolls, fried clams, and frequently ice cream. They're just somewhere along a country road.
Yep.
And
They're everywhere. You don't have to go to a fine dining restaurant to find this sort of genre. It's just amazing.
New Englanders also love pastries, and like their local ice cream dairy farm, they also frequently have their favorite local bakery and pastry shop. Whoopie pies are something you're going to see all over New England, and they also love donuts and frequently have their own favorite donut shop. One of our favorites is in Wells, Maine, and it's called Condensed Donuts.
They are very, very popular. You have to go early or they will sell out and they'll close the windows because that's all they have for the day. But I'm
They're
here to tell you that that is the best donuts we have ever had in the world.
heading back across the country all the way to the other coast. We're going to hit up San Francisco. San Francisco is a food lover's paradise.
And one of its most famous dishes, Cioppino, was created by Italian immigrants in the late 1800s. This seafood stew, packed with Dungeness crab, clam, shrimp, and fish, reflects the city's access to fresh Pacific seafood.
Another thing to try in San Francisco is the Chinese food in Chinatown. The Chinatown there is the oldest in North America and one of the best places to experience authentic Chinese cuisine. Now, the food here in Chinatown is very much tied to the history of Chinese immigration in the area, which began with the gold rush in the 1840s, followed by the railroad boom of the 1860s, which brought thousands more. And some of the favorite things to try there are dim sum, wonton noodle soup, Peking duck, something called salt and pepper crab, which is a local favorite featuring the Dungeness crab of the area. Basically, hit anywhere in Chinatown and it's going to be decent. San Francisco is also known for its sourdough. The sourdough there is amazing. It's sourdough right now is really popular, and a lot of people are making it on their own. But San Francisco has perfected the art of sourdough over the years.
Yeah, you'll find places that serve coffee and sourdough bread side by side.
So our recommendation for the Cioppino and that we can vouch for, and we sit here sometimes and say, let's just hop on a plane and go to San Francisco. We went to the Taddich Grill. It was the most amazing seafood stew either one of us has ever had.
Oh my God, it was thick. It was almost, there was almost no broth, but what there was really nicely adapted to eating with bread.
Heading south now to southern Arizona, we're going to hit up Tucson.
Tucson has the unique distinction of being one of the two American cities chosen to be UNESCO gastronomy cities.
When you did research on what a city of gastronomy is, what did you find?
The city must have a strong food culture that is integral to its history, identity, and traditions.
And it's noted because of the Mexican and Native American culinary traditions.
It's the unique indication of how great the food is there.
Tucson area is known for Sonoran hot dogs, carne asada and tacos, and something called a cheese crisp, an Arizona-only dish.
It is a massive, open-faced, crispy flour tortilla covered in melted cheese, often topped with green chilies.
Think of it as like a Mexican pizza, but
But
way
way
better.
better.
They are also known for their tamales, and we have a hard time finding good tamales. So Tucson is a great place to go for tamales. Our recommendation in Tucson is
The El Charro restaurant.
so there's numerous ones. There's one right downtown, the oldest one.
You may think you've had tamales elsewhere, but until you've had them at a Tucson Mexican restaurant, you haven't had really good ones.
So El Charro has a great ambiance. The food is fantastic. Everything we had there was wonderful. I think there are numerous places in Tucson you can go. El Charro was somewhere we've been, and it was fabulous,
Yeah,
and
it was,
we
it was
highly
very good.
recommend it.
Yeah, can't go wrong.
Heading back up to the northwest of the country, we're hitting Seattle next.
Seattle's history is deeply tied to the sea, from Native American fishing traditions to the booming seafood trade today.
Yeah, they also have quite a bit of Asian influence as well, so it gives you kind of an interesting mix. They're known for their wild salmon, Alaskan king crab, oysters, and halibut, but then you can go over and have teppanyaki or teriyaki at one of the local eateries, and then there's always coffee.
Yeah.
You can always have a great cup of coffee in Seattle, whether it's the original Starbucks, which is probably too busy and crowded and all that, or a local house that's got some unique coffees.
Yeah, it's amazing to think that the entire coffee industry practically
In the US,
was born in Seattle.
everyone who goes to Seattle has to hit up the Pike Place Market. It's in the heart of Seattle's seafood scene where you can watch fishmongers toss salmon and pick up some of the fresh seafood around. This is one of the best seafood markets we've seen. We've been to them in DC and even places like Bergen, Norway, but the Pike's Place is right up there.
Yeah, it's really fascinating. If you've ever seen multiple hundreds of pounds of fish get thrown through the air,
It's it's entertainment, that's for
it's
sure.
yeah, it's really great entertainment.
So one of our recommendations in this area for fantastic seafood and oysters is called Elliot's Oyster House, and it's on Seattle's waterfront at Pier 56. It was established about 50 years ago, and it's earned a lot of accolades from being America's #1 oyster house by places like Food and Wine. Another recommendation we have is Ray's Boathouse, which is a little bit north of Seattle. They had the most amazing fresh local oysters that I've ever had, and the stunning waterfront views. And we went, it was kind of chilly out, and they actually gave us blankets as we were sitting outside along the waterfront.
Nice touch.
Also of note is that the salmon out there is incredible. Once I had salmon out there, nothing else really compares. I'm sure the Northwest is full of fabulous salmon. It's not just Seattle, but it's definitely worth going out there if you've never had some great salmon. There's a lot to do there and a lot to see. In the mood for a cheesesteak? It's time to travel back east and hit up Philadelphia.
The home of the Philly cheesesteak. It isn't just a sandwich.
So when did you start going to Philly for cheesesteaks?
Oh my God, I got introduced to Philadelphia cheesesteaks when I was in the Navy. A good friend of mine and I would go to Philly to stay with his parents, hang out, rock and roll, do that kind of thing. And we would get Pat's cheesesteaks,
A proper Philly cheesesteak is made with thinly sliced ribeye steak,
grilled to perfection.
melted cheese, a long crusty hoagie roll, which it can't just be any bread from the grocery store. These have to be homemade
It's
or it's not the same.
it's got to be a genuine hoagie roll to be a Philly cheesesteak.
Optional toppings include fried onions, peppers, and mushrooms, which, in our opinion, you have to have. And then there's something that they do there that I'm not a fan of, but Terry might be, which is with whiz or without. So they sometimes use cheese whiz. I'm not
Yeah.
a fan because I
No,
don't feel like
neither
it's
am I.
real
I'm a bit of a
tasty.
cheese purist myself, and Cheese Whiz doesn't cut it.
And some of you Philadelphians out there might get mad at us, but that's just our opinion.
Yeah.
So, some of the best places to have it. Pat's is probably the most famous place to have the steaks.
Yeah, they've been around since 1930 and they're very, very popular. If you go there for lunch or dinner, you're going to find 1,000 people got there in front of you.
So, Gino's is across the street, and we've eaten there as well, and that was also very good.
Yeah, excellent.
You're probably going to find way better cheesesteaks there than you are in any other part of the country. So, if you're there, you're looking at the Liberty Bell or seeing some of the historical sites, don't forget to try a cheesesteak.
Yeah, it's not far. It's not far away.
And we would be remiss if we didn't mention Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii's food scene is a unique blend of Polynesian,
Asian.
and Portuguese influences.
I don't know if a lot of people know, but the Portuguese were some of the early settlers there.
They were brought in to help with some of the large plantations,
Farming.
and they didn't leave.
Some of the unique food you're going to find in Hawaii are plate lunches. They have plate lunches and they have shrimp trucks. The plate lunches are a staple. They often include what?
Rice, macaroni salad, and a protein like teriyaki beef, chicken katsu, or kalua pork.
Or sometimes they have seafood, and we've been on many of the islands, and it's not just isolated to one island. They'll have these in different places.
Yeah, food trucks are very popular in the Hawaiian Islands. You'll find them whether it's Oahu or Maui or Kauai or the Big Island. Food trucks are everywhere and they're very popular.
So on Oahu specifically, Giovanni's Shrimp Truck on the north end is probably one of the most popular places. It's a garlic shrimp spot. The Asian influence is also very widespread in the Hawaiian Islands. There is a large population of Asian people there. Honolulu specifically has some really wonderful dim sum places.
We ate at a place in the Ala Moana Center by the name of Jade Dynasty.
This was an event. It was a show.
Oh,
You go in and they're all rotating around with your dim sum, and it's a very busy place. So if you can get reservations,
do so.
do so.
Menu is extensive, and you're going to enjoy everything you have.
Now, the next thing in Hawaii that we want to talk about is malasadas. So, in some of our videos, in some of our Hawaii videos, you'll see us trying malasadas from different islands. And this was something they say the Portuguese immigrants brought to the islands. One of the most popular malasadas places, which is on Oahu, is called Leonard's.
Open since 1952, this is the go-to spot for fresh malasadas.
Now, I have to say, my favorite ones might be from the Big Island.
Yeah, we had some fantastic malasadas on the Big Island, along with some really great coffee.
And check out our video on the Big Island if you want to see those. But malasadas are something you must try. It's something you won't find elsewhere in the country.
No, not at all.
Hawaii is also known for its coffee plantations.
Yeah, almost the entire southwest corner of the Big Island is just one big set of plantations, and many of them have tours or merchandise that you can buy. It's quite a pastime.
They're known for Kona coffee, but there's also a coffee that we ran into called Ka'u, which we kind of liked better.
Yeah, it was very good. It was very mellow.
It's worth it.
And did we mention how good Kona coffee goes with a malasada?
Yeah. That's the end of our list. If you have cities on your list that we didn't include, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know so we can both enjoy, and maybe we can even find a way to go there and see what you liked about it.
Yeah, the older we get, the more we're traveling for food rather than other things. So
Sadly so.
So let us know. Thanks for watching the video. We really enjoyed having you guys here.
And we hope that you enjoyed it as much as we did making it.
Cheers.
Bye.